Professor Gregory Moore is one of the world's most well-respected China analysts. He's a member of the National Committee on United States-China Relations and spent decades working in both nations. Professor Gregory Moore, thanks for joining Sky News Your World. Firstly, have you ever seen things between the US and China so tense?
I think the last time they were this tense would have been the Tiananmen Square issue. And that, it was, in a way, it was more tense, but it was something that would pass. It was one thing that happened. This is just a systematic across the board, worries about students spying, worries about companies stealing, intellectual property, South China Sea, Taiwan, North Korea, India, China, across the board, trade. It's just comprehensive, systematic dysfunctionality right now.
We've seen Australia invest billions into new weapons explicitly directed towards countering a perceived Chinese threat, while the rhetoric from Canberra and Beijing is increasingly aggressive. In your view, how well is Australia doing in addressing China?
Well, I'm a person that started out in my China studies very much in the center, not a hawk or not a dove, and I've slowly moved to the right. I'm now a hawk, and it's not that I've changed; it's that China's changed. I would say I salute Australia. I would say Australia is one of the only countries that's sort of in that sort of mode. I guess if we want to call it a very hawkish mode right now, that's standing up to China and trying to hold them accountable. We're not looking for trouble with China. We actually, there's a lot of things the Western countries have in common, a lot of money to be made, a lot of still optimism that China can make changes and move in a right direction in the long run. But I think China, I think Australia's, I salute, the stand that the government has taken in holding them accountable for, what's the origins of the coronavirus. Let's have an investigation and trying to hold China accountable for sort of manipulating domestic politics. I think Australia's had the worst, most egregious cases of Chinese manipulation of domestic politics. And so I respect Australia's attempts to stand up and say, look, even if this is going to cost us a lot of money and beef and wine sales or whatever it might be, we're going to stand up because this is really some important interests at stake here.